Okay, up to this point in class today, what we have learned is appropriate search techniques for structures. We've talked about safe ways to go in, looking for victims. Now we're going to talk about what happens when we find a victim. Some of these victims that we're going to be finding may be trapped or buried in debris. We will need to remove that debris in order to remove the patient from the structure. One of the ways that we're going to talk about removing the patients or creating a safe environment for us is by using levering and cribbing techniques. Okay. Levering and cribbing techniques are ways to lift the materials up off the victims, stabilizing them as we're lifting. The first thing that we need to learn about is a lever. This is the lever we'll be using for our exercise today. The lever is used to gain a mechanical advantage over the object we're trying to lift. We will start by wedging the end of the lever underneath the object we're trying to lift, placing a fulcrum near the object. When we exert force on the far end of the lever, it will raise the object we're trying to lift. Once we start raising the object, we will need to do some stabilization of the object by placing some cribbing stacks next to it. The technique we'll be using today will be called box cribbing. In building box cribbing, we will take two pieces of cribbing, similar size, similar shape, placing them underneath the object, building the cribbing up until we can almost touch the object. The box cribbing is then built in layers of two, increasing the size as we lift the object. This will hold a considerable amount of weight. Kendall.
Yeah, I've got a question. How much weight does that cribbing hold?
A 4x4 box cribbing using 4x4 material will hold approximately 10,000 pounds. Okay. If we decide that we need more strength in our cribbing, we can take and put a third member in it, thus increasing the capacity or almost doubling the capacity. We're now close to 20,000 pounds in support by placing that third member in there. A couple of things we need to talk about as safety precautions when we're building our cribbing or our cribs. We need to always wear our safety equipment. We need to wear our helmets, our goggles, our gloves. I'm glad to see you guys all brought those with you today. A couple other safety considerations in doing these types of operations. We never want to put our hands or our fingers underneath the object that we're trying to lift. When we insert cribbing underneath the object, we'll do it from the side, push it in with the ends of our fingers, keeping out from under the object, or using another piece of cribbing to slide it underneath there. We will raise the object, the height of our cribbing, building it as we go up slowly. Now when we remove the cribbing or when we're done with the operation and get our patient out from underneath it, we'll go in just a reverse order. We will raise the object up and then we'll start dropping our stack one layer at a time, or our crib one layer at a time. We'll remove cribbing in the same manner. Again, we will not put our fingers underneath the object we're trying to lift. We can use two pieces of cribbing underneath to remove our layers. Safety will be always a big consideration in these operations. Matt, if you'll take a look at here, Matt's going to be our group leader for our exercise today, meaning Matt will be the one that will be calling the shots. He will be standing, watching the overall operation. He won't actually be involved in the operation. He will just be giving direction. Who's our lever person? Okay, Chris, you'll be our lever person. You'll be operating the end of the lever on Matt's directions. Who are our cribbing builders? Okay, Roger and Margaret. What you'll be doing is we'll be building stacks of cribbing or cribs underneath the object as Chris is levering it upwards. Who are our cribbing supply people? Okay, Penny and Rachel. Okay, what you will be doing is supplying the cribbing builders and the fulcrum builder, which will be Brandy, with the materials that they need to build their cribs. There's one person we don't have on here today, with the limited number we have in the classroom, is our safety person. I today, as the instructor, will be acting as a safety person. The safety person is responsible for watching the overall operations. If we see an unsafe act or a problem that's about to occur, we will shut down the operation. We haven't mentioned Kendall's role yet. Kendall's going to be our medical person. Kendall's job or part in this is going to be giving medical care to the victim, watching the operation, making sure that what we're doing in lifting the debris is not hurting the victim. It will then be up to Kendall to remove the victim once we've decided that our debris is lifted high enough, remove the victim from underneath, and continue giving medical care while the rest of us restabilize the material that we've lifted. Okay, are there any questions? Kendall.
I've got one more question. When we lift, could we use 2 fulcrums or 2 levers when we lift up on the cribbing or lifting up the debris?
Depending on the situation, that is an option, yes. And as we get out there, we may find we need to use 2 fulcrums. And that is always an object. When you do that, you will still, though, lift one end at a time. You'll never want to try and lift both ends of the object at the same time.
Yes, Corey, could you tell us how to build a fulcrum?
Your fulcrum is built exactly the same way as your cribbing, your cribs. We will use a crib just like we do for stabilizing the material.
How do I know that the lever will support the weight?
You'll look for bending or things like that in the fulcrum. Keep in mind when you're pushing down with your lever, okay, you'll find this metal bar will lift quite a bit of weight again, but you'll want to lift from the side and not directly over the lever. You'll want to exert force from off to the side and not being directly over the lever for safety reasons. Any other questions? Okay, let's go out and do our exercise.
Okay, team, we need to crib these 2 corners here to support them, and then we'll start raising this, get our victim out. Okay, do we have our fulcrum builder ready? Is that too much? Is that too much height there? Can you get it with just one? Okay, hold up.
I've got some difficulty breathing here.
Okay, we'll get this raised. Maybe that'll alleviate that problem.
There we go. Okay, supply people, make sure they don't run out on either side.
Okay, support this other corner. Okay, ready, Chris? Lift. Okay, can we get anything under this corner over here? Okay, we need to re-support this edge and get a better bite on our fulcrum. Okay, let's come on this corner and support this corner. Okay, that's fine there. Support the other corner. Are we off our victim?
We're off. Yep, we're completely off the victim right now.
Okay, let's support this corner and then we'll lower it.
I think we're good to go here.
Lower. Okay, let it down, Chris. Okay, now let's come back over to this side, take a layer out. Okay, go ahead and lower. Ready? Raise. Okay, lower. Lower. One more and we've got it. Okay, lower it. Good job.
Okay, what we're going to do for this final section is we're going to set up for a debris removal from a structure. The way we're going to do this, you see we've lined up across from each other, and as we start removing the debris, we'll be handing it across and then back to the next person. What this does is this eliminates any type of side-to-side movement that we would have if we didn't have people across from us. This eliminates the stress and the strain on our backs and a twisting motion while we're under a load. So if we go straight across, it will eliminate that versus this twisting motion with our backs. So let's go ahead and send a couple down that direction. And then we'll send the pile of debris back. Okay, let's send it back down this direction. If you note the very limited motion of the backs of the rescuers, the person on the end can actually get down on their knees and stack the cribbing or the debris into a pile. Even long objects, such as our pry bars or long 2x4s or large pieces of material, can be handled very easily in this way.